Hey everybody, welcome to the Long War. I'm MBG, and back again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Stephen Four, aka Juice.
Yo, dog.
What's up, ladies, gentlemen, and pimps?
Welcome to the 1994. I can't say it on air, but all right. So
I believe somebody wants a fish sandwich.
hey, yes, no joke. So hey, check it out. Lots of craziness happening today. Man, I picked the wrong day to have a bunch of doctor's appointments. That's for sure. But there is so much stuff popping off today. I figured we'd take the first 10 minutes of the show, talk about some of the crazy gaming stuff that's going on right now, and hit you guys up with some fresh night tactics, night talking about the new night codex, because that seems to be on everybody's mind. And then follow it up with, another thing that's on everybody's mind is, what tournament is going to allow what? And I tell you what, I would not want to be a tournament organizer right now. What do you guys think?
I can't wait till we get to that topic, because let me tell you, man, how do you even begin? Where do we chip away? What do we have to say in the beginning? Except bring 5-hour energies, BC powders, and alcohol to every tournament meeting before your event.
I tell you what, like I'm in on some of the ATC stuff, and they just called another vote on some things, and nobody could agree on anything, and I'm like, yo, this is not helping the hobby. Like,
yeah, man. The main problem is we're all Warhammer 40K players, and we all have a certain army bias. Like our friend EJ, friend of the show, True Pimp. He was like, he took the ITC survey. He was like filling it all out, and then at the end of it, he was like, "Did I just fill this out to make my army better?" And I was like, "Did you?" He's like, "I did." You know what I mean? So he went back and filled it out more objectively. But he's like, "How many people didn't go back and fill it out more objectively? How many people just don't care? They just."
But that's exactly why EJ is a true pimp, because he can get through that. He can see and rationalize. But I mean, when the guys put out, hey, what is should invisibility and the 2 of rerollable go to this? Immediately, no matter if you played that army, if you didn't, it didn't matter. You voted against it. Hey, it's not in my army. I don't want it. So
yeah, no doubt. So hey, look, I don't want to get out on the tangent right now, because I definitely want to save this for the end of the show. But I feel like we need to hit up this news real quick, because we might not even get to that. I think we could talk all show about tournaments, right?
All night. Well, look,
I've heard of them.
give me 2 seconds. So many people are checking in, Robbie.
Oh, yeah,
so we got Stoner Steve, man. Great seeing you. Our boy
What's up,
Jay
dog?
Fox, chilling in the house. Dan Yee, what's up, pimp? Ben, Eric, Rusty. Man, got a full. My computer can't even keep up. Famous Amos in the house. What's going on? Lamont checking in. What you working on tonight, Lamont? Fallen Cipher. Great to see you. Is fake Fallen Cipher here tonight as well, your brother?
The original Marshall we're looking for.
I got some super spy pics of the new Marshall command bunker, and I'll tell you what, man, it's looking good. EJ might be in a run for his money.
So we also have Dan checking in, man. He said he's taking a break from modeling. What are you building? Let us know throughout the show what you've been working on. And good Lewis M, man, great seeing you. Got a full house tonight.
No doubt. Good to see everybody for sure.
Make sure to ask as many questions as you can, guys, because we literally don't know what to do without these questions.
So Clay Cruz also not letting himself get forgotten. Anybody else, make sure, as always, when you guys listen to us, no matter what part of the show is, make sure you give us a shout out so we can call you out.
Rob, I just want to make sure you got those 2 cat memes that I sent you forwarded along from Stoner Steve and Clay Cruz.
I did get them. Clay actually sent it to me too, and I was like, is it bad that I actually have a cat that big currently? That was pretty awesome. Thanks, guys. I love cat memes. I love cats. I love all the cats. Hey, I could talk about a whole show about cats, anyways. So I have a little bit of a confession to make. I messed up.
Mariah Carey fan.
Outside of he's actually a Britney fan, but he's probably secretly.
Well,
it's like how I was secretly a Goldberg fan during the '90s when I was pretending to be an NWO fan.
Yep. So the whole time he's telling everybody it's Britney, but secretly it's Mariah Carey.
I mean, it's always been Mariah. I mean, let's face it. I'm old.
If I'm not mistaken, the true ODB said, Mariah, we go back like babies and pacified.
He sure did, man. And I'll tell you what, I'm leaning a little towards T-Swift right now. She's my new boo. She don't know it yet, but she will.
Mm-hmm.
She knows. So I believe you were telling the gentleman and pimps at home how you messed something up this week.
I did. It turns out that I messed up the thing that you're all currently in, and the only reason you're currently in it is because I invited you. I set this to invite only, so I'm not going to do that next week, but this week.
This is currently a private webcast, invite only. You are the people who use the invite.
Clearly, you are the people that matter to us most. So thank you. So thank you.
Players mess up, but we do have some new names out there. Steven Peterson, I like how you spell your name, by the way. We have a lot in common. And where did you go? As soon as I find you, somebody else checked in. I apologize. I lost your name. I will shout you out.
So
good old Dan Raymond talking about white scars for Kenny. He's been emailing me about getting some white scars done.
Oh, you got those fresh whites, that's for sure. I'll tell you what, white, yellow, and red, terrible colors to paint, but you make it look easy, dog.
It's because it is easy.
Everything
that's a lie.
Is easy.
It's not easy. That's why I spend 20 hours a week making videos to show everyone how to do it.
Oh, and speaking of videos, we just dropped some new stuff over on the Long War, some new exclusives. So make sure if you are a veteran, jump over there and make sure you take a look at them. Just add some new army lists too today. So I may have messed up the webcast, but I made up for it by adding a lot of new stuff to the page. So
make sure the Hall of Veterans is constantly evolving. We're hitting it up with new stuff. We're trying to make sure the visual experience is better than last time. You know, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, the Veterans Hall is cat and gluten free, but we are working on that for you guys.
I think it's vegan too.
Yeah, it is vegan friendly. Definitely vegan friendly. So.
Yo, but don't even get it twisted. For anybody of our veterans who love the calories like myself, it is super sizeable.
It's also a big fat hamburger.
That's right. We give extra Big Mac sauce to anybody who asks for it. Hey, there's no judgment. This is a judge-free zone.
Hey, I'm a 40K fat kid. I want to play with all the toys. Don't tell me what I can play with.
You should have seen how fat Rob was before he got the glutens.
I was a little bigger. I was not maybe 30 pounds bigger.
I would like to pose a question for Sal here. Sal, I need to know, dog, if you were a burger, would you be a Big Mac or a Whopper? I just need to know. I already know my answer. I didn't even put it in it. I'm going to put it out there. I am the big size Baconator.
Dude,
that's not even on the same menu, is it?
No, but I've already taken that one, so nobody else can have it.
You know, Sal's from Chicago, so you know he's gonna
say I eat a Chicago hot dog.
Yeah, I'm a Chicago hot dog, or yes. I'm a Giordano's pizza or something. You know.
Speaking of Sal, I believe Sal was right at the top of the list of the winners for the first giveaway for the Long War.
Yeah, I think he was like a first. Yeah, he was like the first winner.
He was the first winner. If I
think he had the most. He had the most tickets in the hat basically. So he got picked out first pretty fast.
Yeah.
The software randomizes it. It lets us draw the winners out based on the how many entries they have, and Sal was the first name that came out. Congratulations, Sal, and I think a couple other people are in the webcast probably.
Yeah, I think Rusty for sure. I saw him in there. Hi, Rusty. You
basically. Go to where you've been going to do your daily entries. It will show you a list of the winners. If you're on that list, contact us so that we can send you some prizes.
Word.
Definitely. So
tell us the news.
Oh, we've been waiting for this news.
And here with your weekly update is MBG. No, hey, so new Space Marine tanks. Where did this come from, right?
Church. We got grab on tanks.
I'm about to say, do we have grab cannon tanks?
Yes, because why not?
Please tell me we have a 74-point tank with a grab cannon.
Well, we're not sure yet, completely. And they're only maybe limited edition, maybe only at the Warhammer World thing this weekend. We don't know. But the good news is we got new models. And I tell you what, they're not going to make new models without rules. So there's definitely some rules coming, whether they're in the White Dwarf or whether we get a new Marine Codex. I guarantee you, mark my words, we'll see rules.
Man, if they make like a stalker pattern with just one grab cannon on it, there's one 5-shot grab cannon with a grab amp.
Yo, let's even furthermore, let's go this. Let's go, I'm thinking big, supersize my tank, please, and let's get a 10 to 12-shot heavy grab.
Turbo destructor gravity cannon.
Yeah, so again, like this is part of my my frustration with being a Space Marine. It's like, all right, so I'm a Space Marine, and I have a las cannon, a portable las cannon. So it's the same strength as the one that is on my billion-point tank that weighs 1 billion pounds. We can't up its power any. You know what I mean? So let's up the power of this grav, and let's make it 10, 12, 14 shots.
What if they made it like? What if it was multiple shot barrage, and if any unit hit by it is concussed? It has nothing to do with being wounded.
Oh, that's
basically.
That's
I'm thinking of a wyvern with grav.
That's Tyranids wouldn't like that, would they, Chiefs?
No, it wouldn't matter. They have no armor. Like it wouldn't bounce off.
First off, we're for the most part in the air, so we don't play that wyvern game.
No doubt.
It doesn't matter what other weapons it has. A wyvern kills us, so it doesn't matter what other special abilities. Anything more than that is overkill.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but I tell you what, they are cool looking, and I hope we get rules fast on these things, because people are gonna want to play with them.
Yo, I want to play with one right now. I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yo, Eric Weir's asking about the new Mechanicum models. Is that also in there?
Yeah, that was another thing I was gonna talk about. Yo, so I don't know if you saw the rules for these things, but these guys are like 100 points less than Centurions, and really, their only drawback is they're only a 4-up save.
But now they're not relentless, right?
Yeah.
They still are?
Where's my
Where's
my rules? Let me
For some reason, I thought that was standing out in my brain that they weren't relentless.
Let me take a look. But, I mean, they're 100 points less. So now you have 2 chances to get tons of graph stuff. If you ally up, whatever. You got a lot of options there. Now you can easily get grabbed in with a Knight Army. I feel like, right?
100%. Amos is right there with us. He's saying that it kind of seems unlikely that GW would invest money into a plastic kit and not make it out there or make it just specifically exclusive for some people. Also, it confirms that Space Marine Codex could be around the corner.
Oh my God! Everyone's like, "What are they going to do about the Space?" I was like, "The Space Marine is going to get better. If Eldar got better, Space Marine's get better. That's the only true facts about this hobby."
Hey, guess which one sells more?
Yep.
Oh.
God, Dan Yen's talking about how he's painting some Terror Squads for his 30K Night Lords army. That is what I'd like to hear, sir.
Yo, Terror Squads are really good. Night Lords in general are really good at 30K. Them and Alpha Legion are super dirty. I think Night Lords are the one now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Fact check me on this.
Somebody fact check him. It's not going to be us. We don't know.
I think those are the ones that if they outnumber you, they get extra attacks at an initiative step. So basically, they're kind of like predators. Like when it comes to combat,
they're bullies. They're straight bullies. They're gangs.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good rule. Alpha Legion, I think, gets all the APT weapons like at low. So them and the Reavers for Luna Wolves. But man, I tell you what, if if we see this, that was the other thing, leading into some more stuff I wanted to talk about. They dropped the teaser for Tempest today, Book 5, the Horus Heresy. So we got Alpha Legion, or excuse me, Word Bearers versus Ultramarines, the Battle of Calth, the whole shebang.
Ultramarines, those suckers.
Man, I'll tell you what, everybody thinks they're suckers, but man, when you start seeing some of that armor and some of these, just straight stoic-looking poses, like, dude, I don't know. I want to play Ultramarines.
Yo, I'm ready with them. I'm ready, especially I think in 30K they're going to be the truth.
When they made that big push, when the new box set started coming out, when they changed it from yellow trim to gold trim, when like the new set came out and they looked like Romans, yes, they started looking pretty substantially more badass.
Yeah, that's when I feel like that's when Honor Guard just came back around. They just redone the Honor Guard.
All Ultramarine Omegas, and they all were Roman.
Yeah, Calgar's like special thing is like he could have Honor Guard as many as he wanted or something like that instead of like 01. But
I'll never forget it. It's like when the box came out, they had all these new Ultramarines on it. It said Ultramarine Blue, and it's like, you're all liars. You did not use Ultramarine Blue to paint these new Ultramarines. Nope. Ultramarine Blue is terrible, and you also decided not to paint all their crap gold, yellow. You painted it actual gold, and they looked like deep blue and gold. Looks good.
It looks way better than that stupid yellow. Because yellow and blue right off the bat clash. It's
yellow, blue, and red bulgers. They look so buster.
terrible. I don't know what they're thinking, but yeah, all these Ultramarines are looking good. Guilliman looks good. You know, we've already seen a lot of Wordbearer models, but man, and then we got the Xiphon fighter coming out, and of course, the Warlord Titan. That thing is going to be nuts. They just put out the picture of all the little what is it, wallpaper, where they're basicly all standing there. You got all the Titans, and then the Warlords are just like, the Lords are 50% bigger than a Reaver, and in this picture they are. They just look amazing. I don't know. If you're gonna buy one, please take pictures.
Next level painting's doing buy one get one free paint jobs for the Warlord Titan.
You might not want to do that.
You heard it here first.
Don't worry, I'm charging $10,000 to paint it, so it'll be fine.
Well played, sir. Well played.
It all plays out. Ben is actually talking about what his hobby has been like today, and he says today alone, he sounds like he's almost working for Barely Tabletop Quality because he's pushing out some models. He's got 2 10-man Vanguard squads, 2 units of Rush Stalkers, and a Dune Walker, all built and primed. Church.
That's way more than I did today.
Yeah, I feel kind of hobby lazy today. Finished off a Soul Grinder and worked on some Space Wolves. I can show you the Soul Grinder if you guys want to see it.
I want to see it. I love seeing Soul
Grinders. Converted, right?
Entertain the people.
I want to hug all the Soul Grinders.
I mean, dude, his brother David was telling me about this list he's running with like 8 Soul Grinders, and man, I'll tell you what, there's much that can stand up against that.
Oh yeah, no, I love David for that, man. He will definitely think about like 14 Dreadnoughts and 8 this and that. But Robbie B, what do you think about the? Dan wants to know that new Minotaur's airbrush paints. Are they fresh? Have you had a chance to look into them at all?
You know, I bought into those when they hit the scene like 2 or 3 years ago or whatever. And I kind of
Did they show up to the scene with their ceiling missing?
Yeah. Kind of looks like Kenny's got something there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was just trying. I'm about to center it on me, and I have to pull out. Actually, have to pull out the focus here, so it'll come into focus here in just a second.
All right.
So it's not too heavily converted, but what I did. It's just taking me a second to open this. Everything is lagging. But the one thing I did do was put them on a base.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I saw that. Kind of looks like the Scorpion that you did, man. It looks so fresh. I like that base that you put on them.
Here, I'm about to bring it into focus for you guys right here.
If you want, you can try to take a Polaroid of the model and then just show us a Xerox of it. Mm-hmm.
So he's in focus. So like, I did something kind of unique on him. I pulled out some of those muscles in a much more different way. I tried to make it look like he was glowing under his skin in places, but like his purple muscles were ripping through.
Love those purple muscles.
He's supposed to be my Slanesh Soul Grinder. Even some of the highlights on his black plates are purple or pink. I did a bunch of the GW Blood for the Blood God on some of his ligaments. And mainly what I did here, which is unique, is this is the gigantic oval base. Like it actually, when you look at it,
yep.
Like this is the night. That's the Night Titan base. And so what I hate is I hate things that are not on bases. Like this guy with his stupid legs. Basically when I play this guy, I'm like, I measure everything from this base. Never will I measure something from this toe, anything like that.
Yo, I love that. I can't tell you how many times whenever I played Soul Grinders and they came out, I always ignored that front right leg because it kind of sticks up like this extra. I'm like, look, that doesn't even exist. You know, like I'm going to draw an imaginary line like an inch back and say I have to make base contact with you. And it's always advantageous for the other individual because I want to make sure I base. You know, a lot of people are like, yo, the second I touch you with my death roller, you're done, dude. You know, or the second that and I was like, no. So I love that base concept.
Oh, Sean's saying he bases Soul Grinders on old CDs. I'll tell you what, that old CD tech is what's up. I used to go around to post offices snagging up the AOL CDs, the like free ones for terrain and like Soul Grinders. You know,
drop pod bases before the model came out.
Drop pod bases.
On it.
I did a lot of soul searching just trying to figure out what kind of base I would put this guy on, just to be like, you don't realize how big the footprint is in a Soul Grinder until you try to put him on a regular large oval base, and it's too small. You know.
Yep.
Yo, getting back to that miniature, I used that. I used it when it first came out, and then I kind of shelved it for a while. All my demons I did with that miniature, and I was just learning how to airbrush. I like the line. I like that it has a lot of fantasy colors. I'm finding very recently that I don't, and of course, I am nowhere as good at this stuff as Kenny is, but I'm finding that I definitely prefer some of the miniature colors and some of the private the PT.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Rob's having some issues with some of the even the Vallejo Game Air and the Vallejo Airline in his airbrush, and a lot of these problems kind of went away with the miniature. So take it for what it's worth. Like, whatever you feel about the color, Rob's personal experience has been that they go through the airbrush easier. I would say
with less fuss.
Yeah, less fuss. Like the original miniature stuff, I didn't like it, but I've seen some of the tints do really well. I think it's really comparable to the Vallejo Air, but I think the Vallejo Game Air is a little bit below it right now as far as going through your airbrush. Because the colors are fine. The main thing we need from these things is we need them to go through our airbrush and not infuriate you for 2 hours like what happened to Rob last week.
Yeah, it's not saving you time if you gotta spend as much time cleaning your airbrush and things than just doing it by hand, So, so I was getting a little frustrated last week. But I found that when I switched to non-game air paints, the stuff definitely flowed better. But I like a lot of their colors. Some of those colors that Miniature has, you can't find in other lines. So I definitely have a few of my favorites, but then I have a few. You probably heard Kenny talking about like the Harvest Browns and the things like that, and Reaper. So you definitely pull from all places is my advice. Don't just stick with.
Yeah, definitely. I use them all, man. I use them all for different reasons.
Yeah, that's a great concept. You're saying, like, just don't get shoehorned into basically only I am only Vallejo Air all day, every day. Like, pick the best out of all of them. And Robbie B, let's not be don't undershoot yourself there. You are a phenomenal airbrush artist.
He is.
I can't tell you, like, he is amazing. The only person who is less than amazing is myself, and I'm just really, really good.
I think that's really
that Crayola airbrush that you bought is amazing.
Yo, exactly.
It's a choice of equipment.
Yep. So, I mean, sometimes I just don't know what to do with my hands.
I think we got a couple more people in here to roll call.
Oh, yeah. It's been blowing up, man. D. Yates has been checking in, been throwing out a lot of questions and things like that. We have Steven, by the way, says that he loves the look of the bass and the soul grinder. Quite a few people have chimed in and said how much they love that idea. Where are we at here? Oh, Sal wants to know what is going on with all the horse heresy stuff. He loves it.
Heck yeah.
Horse heresy
is awesome.
That's one of the things that broke today.
Yeah, the new Tempest book.
I see Jake Shear just checked in.
What's up, Jake?
Jake Shear. Love you, dog.
I'm going to try to get some X-Wing later.
Nick Blackburn, dog, do you have a family member that plays linebacker and special teams for the Carolina Panthers?
If so, I want his autograph.
That is an epic name. So, White Scarves with Liquitex, I think that's the form of whiteout.
That's usually what I use.
Yeah, as a medium for his White Scar airbrush. That's
basically use a little bit of whiteout, mix it into your paint pot of your airbrush. Throw a little bit of medium in there. That's how you get perfect white scarves.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a trade secret just for Kenny or not, but I'm gonna spoil it all right here. Spoiler alert. No lie, I've been sitting there. Here we are. We're in the Beats Laboratory. We're chilling, talking about lists and everything else. This is a daily thing that happens all the time. So we're sitting there talking about what's happened. Next thing I know, I see Kenny. What you doing, man? He's like, man, just painting some stuff. I see him freestyling. Left and right, just mixing paints in this pot, like a little this, little that. You know what I mean? Like,
literally, it's amazing.
It is unreal. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? So then I'm like, word, I'm just listening. Like, obviously he's the master, so I'm gonna just sit here. We're gonna keep talking. So then I'll be at some of my other boys' house. We're just chilling, and they're like, oh man, I gotta don't talk to me right now. I'm pouring my paint. It's gotta be. I'm mixing it. I'm like, dog, I just want you to know that's not how professionals do it.
Dude, literally, like when I saw his studio, I'm like, wait, this is where you paint? And he's like, yeah, and I was like, you are a savant. Like, my shit has to be all lined up. It has to be all precise. It has to be like have to have perfect everything. You know, the moon, the sun, the stars has to align, or else I can't handle it. And Kenny's just done. And I'm
the most perfect blue, red highlights, all this. I'm like, yo, just so you know, I mean, your stuff looks good, dog, but you're not a professional because you're taking way too much time to put that paint.
Yeah, I'm not a scientist. I'm an artist. That's what I always tell people.
That is true. You can definitely tell the difference between the two types of thinking. No doubt there. But hey, man, you make it work, dog.
So
that's those long emails or those long Skype sessions we have where you're like, I can't get this to work. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It just worked when I do it.
Yeah, literally, this is
pretty much. Kenny's answer is, it's just magic. Just figure it out. And I'm like,
that's like.
No, just say cast this spell twice as you hold your tongue. But so Troy, what's up, pimp? I don't think I've called you out. Thanks for chiming in. He literally has a serious question. Sikatari and Nanan, where is the power? So I know we've talked about them, like the Sicarian, you know, like or the whatever.
Sicarians.
Yep. The Skeet Tari.
Yeah, the Skeet Tari. That is shotgun skeet, not whatever else you guys were thinking. But
what I found seems to work well with them is their ability to adjust their ballistic skill, have a lot of them, and just be general pain in the asses. Just holding shit down, which is great for, you know, bubble wrap for like knights and bigger things like that. The onagers are ridiculous firepower, like just stupid amounts and just stupid strengths.
Yeah, so I'd like to mimic that first section. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but like in my mind, I feel like they are everything that a mandrake wishes it could be, right? So like they got stealth and they got infiltrate. Like I'm still I can't say that I'm hating. I'm still not endorsing them for tournament play, and that's what I've been playing a lot, and I'm having to switch my mind up. But if I was a Mandrake, I wish that I looked as cool as I did, but had the rules of a lot of the models that they have because of the infiltrate, the scout, the
precision strikes,
the precision strikes, the
2 wounds, feel no pain,
the rad thing where they cause extra wounds, the ghetto rending, like. Dude, they got the gamut, like, and now with this new book coming out that we don't know a lot of the stuff, and what we've seen already is bananas. Let's face it, those cataphrons or whatever they're called, those things are what's up. You gotta watch out. Do not sleep on those guys.
I don't like things that are only shooty, so I haven't put enough, you know, I haven't studied enough. You know what I mean? I haven't broken out the books in a beat laboratory. I've been just reading other people's experiences with them, but everyone else seems like they like it. You know, it might not be the best for tournament play, but that's something we've been talking about recently. We've even changed our commercial basically on the Long War, you know, to mirror one of the major problems right now in the hobby is the over-competitive nature of people in the hobby. Mm-hmm. The fact that this is a hobby and that too many people are using it as simply a way to leapfrog into beating somebody at something.
Yeah, if you gotta win all the time, you're just never gonna have fun ever.
You can't be happy if the only way for you to be happy is to always win. You know, and it's the problem is that over the last few years, people have got to kind of change that parameters in their mind. It's like, I need to win this. It's like somebody said, I wish I could pull the quote up. Somebody on our show said, I don't like to play against people in Warhammer 40K. I like to play with them.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So like that's kind of like what the Long War's been about, and that's basically what hashtag Bringing Hobbies about is. Not saying don't have a competitive spirit, because the competitive spirit is what drives us all, but we will run a tournament at some point. It will happen, and I think we're going to surprise you with the way we run it, because it's still going to be very competitive, but I think we're going to surprise everyone with how we're going to bring hobby back in a tournament scene.
Yeah, without a doubt. And actually, Kenny, I love the quote that I've heard you use multiple times, and it's a little phrase different that you did on the show, but it's like, quote unquote, you know, if your only joy in this game is that you always have to win, the only thing is certain is that you're not going to find any joy, you know, or something that point. I mean, that is literally the truth, you know.
Yeah, it just goes without saying. Like, there was a magical time, I think, for all of us, and I'm not saying the game is dying. I'm just saying the hobby seems to be suffering as of late. Like, it's just not the same magic level, you know.
It's having a death throw. That's something that we all got together last weekend and we talked about that for hours. You know, like about since we're about to talk about TOs and like here's the major challenge for a TO. Before you even consider any of these codex releases, what the rules are, any of that stuff, here's your main challenge. The hobby is dying.
Yeah.
Like when you used to walk into a room back in the old days, like there was electricity in there. There was
huge displays, all mounted on the walls. You know, you guys did some back as the Wrecking Crew way back in the day. Amazing stuff.
People just were so much more into it, and this is something I say. I came in kind of hot on the new promo, but I was, it's like, hey man, like, why? It's ridiculous that standard operating procedure right now is people go to these huge major events with primered models and proxy miniatures. Like, what is your motivation? I mean, like, that was not something that ever went through our minds. I'm not saying it's your fault. It's like something that's happened. We stopped policing ourselves at some point.
Well, I think I think it's twofold. I think we had more time to get the models we needed and get them painted because there was more time between releases, and that being said, stuff didn't change all the time, and now we're seeing an amalgam of not even painted stuff, borrowed stuff that doesn't even match the colors, and so it's kind of gone downhill. But it's kind of on us, but it's kind of on Games Workshop at the same time. I feel like.
Yep. Well, I feel like yes.
Yeah, so I completely agree. Is the fact of the turnaround in Codex is a huge. That's monumental. Like, you cannot overlook that. The fact that the new meta is changing every 40 days or less.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to say, and a lot of people talking bashing GW, but let me tell you, think about it. How the downward spiral has happened ever since GW is backed out of the tournament scene. When we had, hey, if this isn't 75% GW, you can't run it at this event. If this isn't this, if this isn't, I mean, so I don't know. At least there was Big Brother, let's say, over us policing us instead of us policing ourselves. Because as we now know, we cannot be responsible for, not showing up to an event with.
No, you're right. It's something I was going to say about the TO is something that's kind of like been my epiphany of the week. I've been like thinking about the first thing I thought about this morning, as a matter of fact, no lie, was the Long War social that we've been talking about doing it at some point. And one of the things in my mind that's been going over and over is like, it's not the job of a tournament organizer to police the people in the tournament. That's what I'm saying. It's the job of the people in the tournament to police each other. The job of a tournament organizer is to simply make sure that no one is abusing the rules that are in place, like your tournament rules. Like if there's a sportsmanship vote, like their job is to make sure no one abuses that. If there's a painting vote, it's their job to make sure no one abuses that.
They're basically referees, glorified referees.
Exactly. They're not here to police us and tell us what we can and can't play within the rules of the game. They can tell us how to how we're going to play in their tournament. Their job, but we need to police each other. We stopped policing ourselves when GW pulled out, because like what Juice was saying is GW was the police agency, and they stopped. And so it was kind of like they had a set of rules that no matter what they said, it was legal because it was their game system. I mean, these are the same guys that had us voting when you played somebody, you had to rate their comp. Like, is this an abusive army? Like that was.
Yeah, is he playing for advantage, or is he playing something that you feel like is not overly?
Once they left, there was no one there. There was no governing body, and we in America, especially, have proven that we cannot be trusted to police ourselves.
Yep. So Justin Cox says, right on, guys. Some of the best games, kind of going back before, was the games that he lost, and I 100% agree with that statement. Some of the best games that I've had with my best friends and not best friends, like literally are the close nail biters that maybe I inked out, I lost, whatever else. Nick is saying proxy is brutal. Our tournaments tend to be painted only, 3-color scheme minimum. Like Nick Blackburn, where do you live and where do you play 40K? Sounds like you guys are the unicorn.
Yeah, Blackburn, keep it up, man, because that's bringing hobby back. And just what I'd like to say is go one step further. Like 3-color minimum. Once you get a good hobby base going, I want you to like throw that word in the trash. So we just say, okay, just somebody invented this so that we didn't have to paint our models all the way. Like that's step one, is being 3-color minimum, because right now nobody's painted. And then once you cultivate your community, is what I'm saying, is you can start re-educating people to what really a painted model is.
To what the standard is. Yeah, and actually to go with what Robbie B said, man, I haven't even thought about as much as how many times is like borrowed models such a thing now? Because of how fast things are coming out, and it's like, hey, I don't have this insurance. Even though all my army looks cool and painted, let me just borrow these from somebody else instead of going.
We're guilty of it ourselves. We do it all the time. Codex release comes out, we want to play the competitive stuff, and we're all trading each other's models around, and sometimes we have armies that don't match.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. So Sean, man, is saying, preach it. That's what we are. I am.
Eric Weir just hit us with something. He's like, any chance of you guys putting together a Skitarii on the Long War for a battle report? The only problem is we have a strict must-be painted policy.
Yeah.
On our battle reports.
That's definitely something we want to work towards. We want to be able to, put that stuff together, paint it, have it on the tabletop. We'll hopefully get to that point with you guys.
Like we said in the promo today, like this subscription, like the Long War, $5.99 a month. It's obviously not that much money. But when it's all combined,
it's like an extra pot of paint. Like
that money, but that money, what we use it for is things like that. Like we are gonna buy Skitarii models, build them, do a tutorial on building them, paint them, do a tutorial on painting them, and then finally we're gonna do a battle report on them. That is actually the dream. That's the end game. Right now we're in our infancy, so we're having to use donation armies, do our own armies. We're running through our stock, and so yes, we are absolutely gonna do a Skitarii battle report. I just don't know it.
Exactly. Like, instead of, for anybody who wants to know what that $5 goes to, or that $6, like, oh, it must just be, no. It's literally, we want to put that back in. We don't just talk about bringing the hobby back. We want to. We want to show you all the fresh lists to do that, but we can't do it with only just a few veterans. Like, that is our goal.
Yeah, and every day there's more and more stuff in there, and we're we're just cranking out the content. It's like, if you think GW puts out stuff quick, like we're putting stuff out just as quick.
Machines, dude, like.
Yeah, it's like
hectic up in here.
5, 7. I don't even know what's between all our channels, like 6, 7 videos a week, like.
We're trying to keeping those 4 exclusive. This is kind of a happy accident though. Like, I'm seeing the webcast numbers are still up. I'm kind of thinking that maybe we should keep the live webcast exclusive.
And everybody, thank you guys for being so on point with your course and stuff. It's kind of even hard to keep up with. Actually, I'm sorry, Kenny. Nick came back with a response saying he's from Canada. The only thing that I can think of, I didn't even see where he said in Canada, but he must be friends with a good friend of the show.
Does he live in the frozen part of Canada, Alberta?
Garnier.
Yep, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I've just had a brain fart. Who won the team event with?
Oh, Max Dubois.
Max Dubois. I'm pretty sure.
Quebecians.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that from what I saw on the map, Canada is not that big. It's kind of small, so everybody knows each other. So I'm sure you know Max. Yep. I'm just kidding. So, but that's where he plays, and it's his group. He completely agrees with Kenny, what his statements were saying, and sometimes you just gotta try to push forward. Sal is actually talking about from a TO. I am from his perspective as a TO. He's bringing the hobby aspect back into the tournaments. He's purchasing gift cards, small hobby items, etc., dice, awards, and things like that. Going back to the hobby player, not necessarily the overall tournament winner. Who, and I like the fact that you're pre-buying these items for people. It's not just, it feels a little more than sometimes just a random, hey, you get $20, you get this,
Yeah, and it's like we've said in the past, like, it used to be where the best overall was the combination of hobby scores and battle points. And battle points was second. It was called, what, Lord of War or something?
No, it was Best General. It was literally Best General.
Yeah.
It's like we had this discussion. It wasn't even an issue. It wasn't even a question who the winner was. The guy who had the highest score. And that was
and then G-Dub pulled out. And all the people that were like, oh, all right, now we're competitive players.
All the people who used to always get Best General because they took 3 of the same unit. Let me tell you something. No one ever took 3 of the same unit unless it was true. It wasn't in the rules that you couldn't. It was just that there was a comp score. It said, is your opponent abusing the rules to win? Is your opponent reasonably competitive? Is your opponent blah, 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 blah? Like, you scored him, and it was a policing element. So people were like, I'm not going to bring something that's – and you didn't even think of it like – trying to manipulate the comp score. You were like, it's just garbage to spam things, right? That's how people thought back then. Then when GW pulled out, parameters shifted. All those people who were in that category kind of started leaping up, becoming community leaders because they were the best at winning games of Warhammer 40K. And they kind of just changed the infrastructure of how we did tournaments. And now it's the guy who has the highest battle points is always the winner. and then they started doing things like Renaissance Man for the guy who has all the combination, kind of like diminishing in it. And then one day they said, how about if we just took battle points out entirely and we just did win-loss, so you couldn't even question it. The guy with the most wins wins. There it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I'm taking 2 days off of work and I'm traveling and I'm paying a bunch of money, I want to play all my games, and I still want to be in contention.
Single elimination. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying. This isn't March Madness, guys. Like, I want to play all my games.
Yeah, true story.
Man,
I've never heard it phrased any better. A 6 or 7 round grand tournament that is win-loss is literally single elimination.
It's a single elimination tournament.
Really is.
They all pretend it's not.
You
can play all your
like
games.
a
No,
trader.
it's not.
No.
It's not. Yeah.
It is not.
But speaking of which,
shenanigans.
I don't want to get too far off topic here, talking about like tournaments and
Bring us back in, Rob. Bring us back in.
But let's talk about the Knight Codex. It's out. There's some really good stuff in here. This is a powerful book, guys. This is a very powerful book. If you're a veteran, definitely. I got both my videos up on all my thoughts on this book. But some stuff I wanted to talk about was it is really easy to make these guys OBSEC. And let me tell you how much pain in the ass an OBSEC Knight is. It's a huge thorn in everybody's side, first of all.
Oh,
yeah, word.
100%. So now, so they obviously have range D.
Of course. Well, I mean, not really, but kind of.
Kind of. Okay.
Like they got high strength, low AP. They got the Gallant that's got 2 D weapons basically in combat. You get to pick which one you want to use, basically.
But did they all take a point reduction?
The Gallant's pretty cool because he's 325 now, and that's really easy. I don't have to tell you. That's really easy to fit 3 of those in an 1850 army. And you take the formation where they get rage. Now you're swinging with 2 close combat weapons plus rage, plus they can reroll their charge.
That's good.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist. Yeah, that's the Kenny Boucher pattern.
Yeah, 325 is pretty comparable. I'm with that.
I mean, it should honestly be at this point 185 if you're going to use the
Wraith Knight comparison.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, 285.
It's rough. Let's just pretend Wraith Knights don't exist right now. And then you've got the old ones, the old standbys here that you can take the new options for, like the rocket pods and things like that. Let me tell you what, having a 72-inch range rocket pod on these guys doesn't seem like a bad thing for a lot of like mop-up operations.
I can try to get behind that.
The AA formation is pretty cool because you get to re-roll they're already twin linked, they're already Skyfire, they're interceptor. You got to take 3, so you're gonna have 6 shots, twin linked. You're gonna be able to re-roll the wounds, which when you're shooting at creatures, it doesn't seem to matter as much. But when you're shooting at stuff with an armor pen, being able to re-roll that pen seems pretty strong. I mean, on average, if it's armor 10 or armor 11, you're gonna drop it probably with just one of the knights shooting at.
Justin Cox comes in for juice. He says every knight has a range D weapon. It's got range 12 plus 2d6 inches.
That is true. It's just running really fast. It's its
own. And depending on how cold it is outside, guys. I mean, let's put this in perspective. So
that's an unfair comparison.
Salas saying too, man. The Knight Codex reaction 9 out of 10, loving it. The new weapons options, the top mounted ridiculousness that it has. He's liking everything that it is. New Knights.
First off, if you buy a Warlord Titan, put it together, and then mount 2 Knight Titans on top of the Warlord Titan, I'll give you $1.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
I'm taking that $1 from you.
Is this $1 in cash or 107 if you transfer it via PayPal?
Yes, I can do either. We can do e-money or real money, whichever you prefer.
Then I would like, if we're going to do potentially fake money, then I would like to up your $1 and go to $50 in Monopoly money.
I also have, what are these? These are forever stamps. These are a real value right here, folks. These are good forever. I will send you.
We can tell
those are money.
These are like money.
Yeah, so 2 things. Those are definitely forever because those are like Christmas stamps from like 15 years ago. And 2, I want you to know how much the value of those stamps go up, those forever stamps go up in prison. So Robbie B, keep them in your back pocket. If you ever find yourself locked up, you've got some good currency.
let's just say that it's probably not going to end well for me if I ever get locked up.
I want to shout out Nick over here, Nick Blackburn. I haven't seen him before in the show until today, but he says, you guys have the best production quality 40K content. Thank you, sir. In my opinion, good job, fellas. Honestly, keep up the enthusiasm. Juice's constant reference to Mama in one of the battle reports with the NIDS made me laugh for real. You guys got my support to hit you up on Patreon. What I want to say is, don't hit us up on Patreon. Hit us up on the longwar.net.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you're not there already, if you're already on the longwar.net, then do whatever you want on Patreon. But Patreon is our personal funding stuff, where we try to give back to people who are giving us money by giving them some access to the Hall of Veterans. But the Hall of Veterans has more than our Patreon pages have. So
yeah, and
take your money to the Hall of Veterans.
It's a better way to keep up with all the channels too, because all the channels are on there. You know, we got a nice little viewer with all 3 tickers of all.
We put a lot of time and money and resources into it. Go to it, please.
Without a doubt. Thanks, Nick.
And also, real talk. Patreon takes over 10% of the funds, so that's terrible. Like.
Yeah, that's a big chunk. Like, yeah, it's not that great.
And I don't want to beat that down, but man, let me just tell you what, the work that these guys put in on making the production quality of this, we've got consultants, we've got literally money is spent left and right to make sure that lighting, backdrops, 15, 20 minutes before every show, like this is not a joke. Like this is something we take very serious. So I just want to let everybody know how much work Kenny Robb does.
I was going to show off. Keep talking. I was going to show them a little bit of some of the stuff we have now.
Oh yeah, show off some of the.
Oh yeah, that light's fresh.
So like we got this is one of our major heavy lifters. That crazy light up there for the battle reports. This new guy right here. This is like pro. Doesn't look like much right now, but
see the little dots.
This is our heat right here, man. Like that's the beast mode. We got all these little halogens right here for our spotlights. Yeah, I mean, this is not even half of it. I mean, like, we are out of control right now with our quality, how we're lighting things. Like, if it wasn't for, it's like I said, like, I mean, obviously it's sort of like a sales pitch, but this is the reality. Like, it doesn't matter how real bringing hobby back is. We all know it's real. It's what is motivated us. If you can't give it to somebody in a digestible way, like if they can't see beautiful models in this world, like during the hashtag, bringing hobby back craze, we will never get the message out to its full force, to its full magnitude, to as many people as possible. That's why we have to buy these expensive lights and all this stuff, because it has to look, unfortunately, unbelievably good. It shouldn't take that, but it does.
You don't realize how much really goes into actual production quality stuff, and I didn't at first either. Let me tell you, it's pretty crazy. But that being said, no cats were harmed in the making of any of these videos either, so you can rest assured that we did our homework there as well. So
yeah,
I don't really want to harp on the Long War stuff too much more. I definitely want to put ourselves in some of these TO organizers, tournament organizers' shoes for the last 10 minutes or so of the show here, guys.
Man, you put our backs against the wall on that. This has been my favorite one I've been saving up for, and I'm gonna have to try to be quiet because I know everybody's gonna want to chime in. But
you got 12 minutes.
Go for it. Go.
Oh yeah. Man, just let me tell you what. If you are a TO right now, oh my goodness. Matter of fact, don't even buy your own Tylenol. Don't buy anything. I'm gonna send it to you for free. Think about this right now, and I was actually reading some of the comments and things like that. We talk about hobby. We talk about Kenny gave a list about, hey, look, you got to make sure that you do this and this. And furthermore, you got to look at should you ban Eldar? Should you? And this is just a blanket statement. Should you restrict how many different things that you have? Should you? What does your FAQ look like? I mean, it is as big and wide open and as broad as anything we've ever seen. It's almost as much content as 3 games put together. So I do not envy TOs. I can't even fathom the struggle that you guys are having to go through right now to put together a quality tournament that you're going to put your money in, that you're going to put their own well-being in, not just.
And if they say the wrong thing, they might lose their money over toy soldiers.
Yo, exactly. And we're talking about like, and this is the next step further on top of the local hobby shop that gets 15 to 20 people in and
like bigger scale stuff.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think major TOs should reach out to some of those smaller stores for once and be like, hey, look, you guys get a chance to, the turnover for your events, the turnover for your games, the turnover for all this is so much more. I would like to know some insight that you guys have instead of only running one major event inside of a year. I couldn't understand. I would just even like to use myself as an example. Right when the book came out and we were talking in the Beat Laboratory last weekend, it was like, hey, I think you should just ban Eldar. Let's do an event without Eldar. Obviously, that was not the correct statement, but that's kind of how I felt at that point in time. Then
we just got done playing 10 hours of Eldar games.
Yeah.
This and that, feeling a little disenfranchised. So we made some snap statements.
Yeah, but look, this is what has to happen just for 20 hours before you can even think about FAQ. It was like, then Kenny chimed in, was like, maybe not so much with this. Then Robbie B was like, well, what about this? Then our boy Austin is like, let's try to be even a little more rational and do this. So you've got 4 or 5 people in a room just trying to square down. And
after playing games for the entire day.
Yeah, just to try to collect this knowledge because there isn't this big repertoire or dictionary that has don't forget about this. They're shooting from the cuff, a lot of these guys. So, man, anybody who goes to major events, are the 3 of us included, and everybody who's involved, we will be, I know personally, I'm going to be taking them easy on the TOs. What happens. I'm going to take everything with a grain of salt. Even if I don't agree with a TO, if I usually go to the event, I'm going to go to it anyway, even if I don't agree with it, just because, you know what, I don't want the tournament to go away. That's what I just want to make sure. People say vote with your pockets. Let me tell you what happens whenever you go to an event and you're like, well, I don't like the rules this year. I'm just not going to show up. Guess what doesn't happen next year?
The event.
So, come on, let's vote with our pockets and let's vote with our voices and let them be heard. But man, I don't know. Let's make sure that there's a tournament season next year.
Yo, straight up, let me paint you guys a picture here. I'm working on an article for the blog in the next couple days or so, and let me tell you what, this is literally what happened. Week 1. Pick whatever week you want it to be. Week 1, everybody's freaking about Wraith Knights and D weapons, right? Oh my God, we need to ban Lords of War. We need to ban Wraith Knights. We need to ban this. D weapons are crazy. Okay, so the call goes out: ban Eldar, ban Lords of War, ban whatever. Week later, Imperial Knights get leaked. They're all Lords of War. There's detachments. Wait. Okay. All right. New plan. Okay, we can't ban Lords of War.
Only ban these Lords of War, but not these.
So now we're just gonna ban this. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Go. Next week, Cataphren destroyers. All that cheap grab everywhere. So now everything that you just restricted is gonna get destroyed by Cataphren destroyers. So okay. All right. So just undo what we just did the past 2 weeks. All right. What's next? Oh. Everybody that gets those new Space Marines, the new Space Marine exclusives in Warhammer World, if there's rules, they're going to want to play with them. How do I play with them? Can I play with this data sheet? Is this data sheet? Is it allowed? Yeah, I don't know. Got to make a snap call on that. And then who knows what's next? What's going to call out in Cult and Mechanicus that we're all going to cry for? So this is a hard time for everybody. Every week, everybody's crying about something. And man, I'll tell you what, I would not want to be a tournament organizer right now. And it's just going to come down to 1 or 2 things. Either we let everything in, or we just perpetuate the circle of ridiculousness every week by saying we got to ban this, we got to restrict this, and there's never going to be an end to it. I don't feel like.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, I will also say the ban and things like that, you start down a slippery slope once you do that. But I have to admit, I don't know if I can fully, right now at this current juncture, to play a true competitive event and think to myself that whoever holds up that trophy at the end of it is the absolute best player, and it wasn't matchup, it wasn't this and this. I don't know if I can 100% say that I believe.
And here's the parameters that we need to shift, though, Juice. It shouldn't be the best player who holds that trophy up. It should be the best hobbyist, the best Warhammer 40K fit person, not the best. That's the problem. Is like tournaments were never about who's the best at beating people down. When it became that, no surprise, it was all Talon Eldar as soon as it became that. Remember, or it was all Grey Knights.
And then it switched to whatever the meta
was. There are
was.
certain armies that are stronger than other armies in tournaments. That's a fact.
Yeah, that is an absolute fact.
When you say it's a tournament, it's about finding who's the best player. No, that's not true. Like that's the worst way to do it because it's inherently not a balanced system. That's why the hobby was always a part of tournaments. And so Juice, what if it was the guy who holds the trophy up has a chance because he has awesome conversions, a dope display board. He got weighted sportsmanship scores, not at the end who's best sportsman. I'm talking about these are added to your scores like they used to be. Like he got a round by round comp score from his opponents, like on a 3-point scale that were weighted in his score. Like so obviously everyone who brings 3 Wraith Knights gets 0 out of a possible whatever. Like you know what I mean? Like because I mean your opponent's gonna be like, no, you're abusive, I hate you. You know, they're gonna police you. They're gonna use it. Like back in the day, people were able to feel like they were protected because if somebody stepped to the table and was a dick to them, they can just give them 0 on sportsman. If you stepped to the table and you were playing 9 obliterators and 3 defilers like back in those days, you got a 0 on cop, dog. Like it was. And I'm not saying that's obviously what it's gonna be, but I'm saying there's a lot of things that this hobby used to have that it doesn't have anymore once GW pulled out and we built this new tournament structure. That yes, I would agree. The tournaments today are designed to find who the best winner is. That is simply impossible in a tournament structure unless you say everyone plays the same list.
Yeah, everybody plays Eldar.
Everybody has to play the same. It doesn't matter what the list is. If everyone plays the same exact 155 points or whatever, then you can find the best. But until that day, tournaments are not about finding the best player. You're going to find groups of amazing players who are good at list building because 40K right now is all about list building, and it's not about the hobby. And when the Long War unveils its system, and when Rob puts together this like State of the Union hobby article on the subject we've been talking about for the last 6 minutes, like it's going to blow some people's minds. Like our opinions are going to be really shocking to some people, but they're going to be based on truth of what we have lost. Like it is a fact that tournaments used to be better than they are now. Like we're only talking about those days. I'll bring in those days back. So we're not in the wrong here, you know?
Yeah. Man, the questionnaire is blowing up, man. Before we leave, I would just
do a rundown real quick.
Yes. So Michael Mann is saying right here, you have no idea how true this is. We have a 40-person event coming up in St. Louis, and the people are headed over to the cliff over. It just stinks that no matter what, TO is going to be the bad guy to somebody. I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, you guys got a lot of super hard decisions. So also, thanks for tuning in, man. Void Wraith, haven't seen you tonight. Thanks for finally shouting us out. So I don't mind the uber cool units. It's the busted point costs. So he's saying he doesn't mind the units. It's the fact that point costs on some models are just a bust, over or not. It's basically like the same concept. Possess are basically unplayable because how powerful other effective point cost units are, and that's exactly like a chess piece in chess. We both have the exact same pieces, do the exact same things, exact same point cost, and it's a mind game versus who is the most points efficient.
And that's why we get it twisted. Like, yo, we're literally rolling dice. How competitive are you trying to get? Like, I'm trying to win every game of Warhammer 40K I play, but I also want to play my Chaos Race Fiends. But I know if I'm going to Adepticon, I'm bringing my Super Friends.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get out of the first 2 rounds with my Chaos Race Fiends because no one's there with the same mentality, you know?
Yep. Famous Amos has been preaching. I apologize. I've missed over a couple questions, but he's saying narrative events, narrative events, narrative events. And now I know that our back's against the wall and we're out of time, but I did want to go back to a statement of his. What do you guys think about a true comp system and penalizing people who bring the super hardcore lists, you know, and things like that? That is something he posted.
Whatever we do, I guarantee there's going to be a comp score. I don't know what comp score we're going to use, but I'm pretty sure
it needs to be on the players.
What we don't want to do is design a list of things that have points associated with them or anything like that, because that's still too subjective. And that is exactly like when the boys were doing things like that. They accidentally invented Sear Star because it just happened to work in that format. Mm-hmm. So I find that listing the units and what their composition score is often it's still too competitive. It's still too in the realm. I literally just want comp to be a player thing. That's my opinion, but that's obviously not the opinion of everyone on the show. I want the people who are involved in the tournament to have that social contract. I want them to be able to enforce the social contract, not just talk about the social contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Like, basically, you're saying people are going to game a system. You put a different set of rules in place, all they're going to do is game it.
Yeah. I'm saying the rules are Warhammer 40K 7th edition. And then, now this is how you play at my tournament with those rules. And my tournament says you have a weighted comp score, a weighted painting score, a weighted sportsmanship score, and battle score. And you have a sportsmanship score and a comp score in which to enforce the social contract. If you step out of line, buddy, I get to void line 3 and 4 in our contract and give you 0 points. You know, like it's.
Boom! Drop the mic on him. Robbie B, Jay Cox. We haven't talked a single bit of Star Wars, and we get Star Wars love. So real quick, Star Wars Armada games. Have you guys played it yet? Thoughts on it, real quick? 30 seconds, or 2 minutes if we need.
Thoughts are it's not X-wing. It's cool in theory. Played the demo at Adepticon, loved it, but it's just I personally can't do it all. I can get my games of X-wing in. Speaking of which, just got this sweet mat from Fat Matt. It's the asteroid one, so comes 3x3.
Basically, who's all looking for some X-wing battle reports? That's coming really soon.
Yo, let me tell you what. I'm all about some X-wing. We will try to get those in the works. Got lots of ideas on some fleets. Man, I've been hard in the paint on some X-wing. Some X-wing theorizing.
I feel like y'all two should play, and I'm in charge of the comments.
You're in charge of the asteroids.
Live X-wing battle report right here. Can I be a Wookiee?
Yep.
Yes, you can.
I make all the pew noises.
All right, well, I think that's about it for this one, guys. What do you say?
Whew, man, we could go on literally for hours. The Q&A
literally,
is
this
just blowing
webcast
up.
could be 3 hours if we wanted it to be.
It really could, but we all we gotta keep it tight.
I gotta start editing battle reports and stuff, and it's all about time analysis, and we've allotted an hour for this, and thank you guys for watching. And I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys. We'll have more videos dropping in a week. Lots more cool stuff to come. If you're a veteran of the Long War, hop over there. There's tons of exclusive content already. If not, head on over to longwar.net. We got tons of exclusive content, early access videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today for free. That's it for today, guys. Good night.
Good night, everybody.